All right, let's go ahead and start. Good morning, everyone. This is Ethereum Cat Holders meeting 70. I just have added the agenda to the chat. The first item listed here is network upgrade. So first we'll talk about Altair, which is expected in less than 24 hours. As we mentioned it earlier, it's expected on epoch 74240 at 10:56 a.m. UTC. As per nodewatch.io, about 71% of nodes are already in sync and ready for Altair upgrade, yet we have less than 30% to be updated. So if you're a validator and listening to this recording, please upgrade your node now. Information on the upgrade ready client version for your upgrade is available on the Ethereum Cat Holders website as well as on the EF blogs. Tomorrow, Ethereum Stakers community, they are organizing a live stream party. We hope to be there to represent cat herders, and they have also shared some instructions on how to upgrade. So watch for their blog post and check out the ETHStaker YouTube. And the next upgrade that we would be expecting before the end of this year is Arrow Glacier. We shared some detail in the last meeting, and since the last meeting, there have been some changes. The proposal is still 4345, but the difficulty bomb adjustment has been moved to June 2022. Earlier, it was supposed to be pushed till 1.5 million blocks, but now it is 1.7. And TJ Rush has been added as co-author for the proposal. So the upgrade is expected on December 8th and is planned on 13,773,000 block number. So that's all about the upgrades that we are expecting in execution layer and consensus layer chain. Using these terms because very soon we'll be having merge. So we already have listed here the merge Amphora testnet, some information around the Pithos testnet that's been activated on October 14th. So Amphora client milestone tracker has been shared by Trenton. It's coming up from the Interop workshop that happened in earlier this month in Greece. And the Pithos is the M5, the 5th milestone for the Amphora testnet. There is this guide for people who are interested to set up a validator for Ethereum staking on Pithos testnet. It is shared by CoinCashew. I suppose the link is added to the agenda. So if anyone is interested, please give it a try. That's all on upgrade side. Anyone has any question, comment to be added here? All right. In that case, we'll move on to the next item listed here. It's the cat herders update. The first one is the ECH website. So we have updated the cat herders website with the information related to Altair upgrade and Arrow Glacier. We have added a couple of resources where people can follow these upgrades and learn more about it. A few hours of downtime was reported last week. The website was back up in less than 24 hours, so it was not for very long gone. Small bug fixes were done, and currently we are having the version 1.4.0 with all the recent updates. All right, so the next one is ECH engineering. I see Alita Moore on the call. Over to you, Alita.
Hey, so since the last time I have solved several bugs and I'm still working on solving some stuff, and it's just kind of moving steady. So there's not really much of an update other than moving forward. I'm going to be continuing with bug fixes and starting to implement some of these features. So yeah.
Awesome. And I see that the bot has been activated to issues section of the EIP GitHub.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, in the past 2 weeks, the I added the bot to the issue section. Super easy, by the way. But anyway, yes, that's done. Or it should be done. And then there's also there's now the ability to set like custom authors based off of the EIP types.
Awesome. All right, the next one is Cat Blazers. William just mentioned that he is running late, so maybe he'll join on the later half of this meeting. We'll come back to it later on. And the next one is EIP Insight. So, so far in the month of October, 115 EIPs have been moved to stagnant by the bot. 3 proposals have been introduced as draft. 2 are moved to review, and there is this one proposal, EIP 3076, that is slashing protection interchange format. That is a proposal which is coming from the Beacon chain. Earlier, it was in the core category, but now that has been moved to interface because it is not directly a part of any upgrade, and it's not directly a core category. This proposal has been moved to the last call. And we saw that one of the proposals, EIP 1523, has been resuscitated from the stagnant status. The author is trying to push the proposal forward. There are some other non-normative changes and improvements made to the existing EIPs. One of the noticeable update is to update the list of EIP editors. So we did one round of updating, like we made an emeritus editor section. We moved some of the editors there, but I believe this needs more pruning. We are discussing this on the GitHub issue. On the EIP's GitHub, the number is 4368. Actually, it's not an issue, it's a pull request that we created for the first pruning. And we are expecting to update this list with more to be moving into the emeritus EIP editors list. So that's all about EIP's Insight. Moving on to PEEP and EAP, in the upcoming meetings of the PEEP and EAP, we are expecting executable specs with Sam Wilson on November 2, a technical deep dive in Portal Network with Piper Mariam on November 10, and we'll have some information on PTOS and the merge testnet with Paritosh on December 8. Yesterday, we recorded our 50th episode of PEEP and EAP. I couldn't believe we came so far. So it was really great that we experienced a lot of information exchange during this 1 year. And we are so grateful for the Ethereum community to receive this information very well. Yesterday, the conversation was with Paul from Lighthouse. We recorded this episode on merge and what the chains would look like post merge, like syncing post merge. He explained the architecture really well. It was like listening to ELI 5 version. I can't wait to see this recording going on public. Hopefully it will be available by early next week. That's all on the PEEP and EAP. And on meeting notes, so far we have meeting notes for All-Core Dev meeting 1 to 4. We do not see notes up for consensus meeting 74 or the EIP-AP meeting. I don't know anyone present here from the group, if they have any further information when we can expect the notes.
Yeah, I'm almost done with the consensus notes. Sorry for the holdup. It should be done by the end of today or tomorrow.
All right, no problem. Thanks for the update. And about the EIP-AP meeting, I think there was something wrong with the recording. The recording did not show the names of the speaker. So the resource shared it with me to just make sure that the speaker name is correct. We have approved it, and I think we can expect the notes up by today, end of the day, I suppose. So that's all from the listed overview of the cat herders tasks and responsibilities that we have been doing. Anyone else they want to share something here?
Just a quick question, that video you talked about, so I wasn't complaining or wasn't listening completely, but it's a video about you said that's going to go up this week, and it's about post merge stuff like that. Or anyway, I'd like to get a ping. I wonder if you could post to the Cat Herders channel when that goes up, or direct message me or something, because I'd like to see that when that goes up.
That's right. So I was talking about a PEEP and EEP recorded with Paul, and I hope to see this video going up early next week, maybe Monday. In the
Yeah, I'm bummed to
meanwhile,
miss that.
no problem. In the meanwhile, we'll try to make some small clips because he had demoed it really well, and I'm hoping that it's going to be helpful for people who are trying to understand what's going on with two chains of Ethereum and how they are connected or not connected. So it's a good watch, and if people can subscribe to Ethereum Cat Herders YouTube, there will be a notification going out every time we upload a new video.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
All right. So that's on the update side. The next section is about the new ideas and brainstorming. Open Ethereum client support is the first topic listed here. So we have been informed that Mycelium research team is considering supporting Open Ethereum for short term. I suppose Brayton, he dropped some message on the ECH Discord team, and that they might look for some help and guideline to continue supporting. Brayton, over to you to speak more on that, what kind of support you're looking and how it can be supported for the community.
Yeah, so I suppose the general idea would be that the first step would be that we just submit a PR, and then we'll try to test out to see whether we could support, I think it's 3634, or maybe it's 3436, the expanded click rules, just to see whether or not sort of we're cut out for it, essentially. And then if that goes ahead and we're able to do that, then I think we'd be probably in a position where like we just sort of want to suss out, and I suppose also receive advice as to how large of an undertaking it would be. It wouldn't be too bad in our eyes if we were to just push Arrow Glacier forward for Open Ethereum, and then after that it's deprecated rather than being deprecated after London. I'm not sure whether this is a social taboo as well, in the sense of like it was previously scheduled to die, but at the same time, a fairly large portion of the network is still on there. So that's just sort of our line of thinking as well. But then in terms of further ongoing support, it would really just be contingent on the extent to which it is a very large undertaking, which it seems to be naturally, but at the same time, I think we might be able to do it. So yeah, we'd definitely be very receptive to advice in terms of what it really takes to sort of essentially maintain a client for future layers. So say one question for merge interop, is that the kind of thing where there's minimal execution client changes to make versus, and we would have time to be able to catch up so that for the next feature fork for Shanghai, we would actually be able to make changes in time for that, versus if it's almost too late in some sense to be able to support the merge would be another question.
So as per my understanding, I believe that team was supporting till the Arrow Glacier upgrade, but there is no information on whether to how to support with the merge part. I don't know, Tim, if you may have any information.
Sorry, what team is that exactly?
Yeah, so that's for Mycelium. Mycelium is essentially like an Australian-based company. Yeah, we've got an office in Brisbane at least, but a few around other spots. And yeah, we've just got a couple of Rust devs that have thought, sort of put up their hand and thought that they might be able to do it, but we're not really too sure. Yeah, just the scale of the endeavor, and then
to support Open Ethereum.
Yeah, essentially to support Open Ethereum, to see what it would take in some sense.
My short answer is it's probably months of engineering, just because maybe doing the merge spec itself is a few weeks, but there's a lot of technical debt in Open Ethereum. I think a lot of things probably break at the networking level. So I'd say, months is like the right order of magnitude. It's not going to be like a few weeks, I think, to get it in good spot.
In terms of people months, would it be, say, just like a couple of experienced Rust devs would probably be for
Yeah,
quite.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I had to like plan for it, I would assume like a couple experienced dev work on it for a quarter or something, and you kind of see where you get. Yeah, and I think that the challenge is also then you need to, like, you can probably have minimal merge support, but then it's like there's a lot of bugs and the list of bugs is growing. So it's, I think you're kind of signing up to also like just improve the overall quality of the code base and have at least stop it from degrading. And I suspect that's like the actual hard part rather than just implement the merge spec.
Righto, yeah, that makes sense. Do you think it's a fool's errand in some sense to support Arrow Glacier if you're not intending to maintain long term? And it's better
I
to
think
just
Arrow Glacier is fine. It's like literally a 2-line change, right? Like 1 line in the code, 1 line in the tests. So I can see value in that, but for the merge, it's like a much bigger effort. Like I think you can get Arrow Glacier done in like less than a week with one person if they're not familiar with the code base, but they're a senior kind of Rust engineer.
Yeah, that was definitely our impression. The question was really just whether or not it's worth just killing or deprecating OE first versus to continue. But yeah, so we'll definitely keep going with Arrow Glacier then, if that's all cool with everyone.
Yeah, I think that's valuable. I think the thing is with the merge anyway, like you need to change your infrastructure and all that. You know, like if you're running, you need to run a consensus client. So there's going to be a lot of changes around the merge. But Arrow Glacier, realistically, it's like if you're using Open Ethereum today, you know, you should be able to just do that change and it'll kind of keep chugging along. So I think there's probably value in that. Yeah, so I would suggest going for that.
Beautiful. I'll get back to everyone as well on any updates.
Awesome, thank you. Moving on, the next sub-item listed here is adding degen bot to the ECH Discord server. So I had a chat with the Bankless DAO community member, thanks to Kenneth for introducing. And the proposal here is to invite the degen bot to the cat herders server. As per my understanding, the POAP team is planning to phase out the POAP bot, and this Bankless DAO team is working closely with Michael and rest of the POAP team on this, and they are trying to whitelist some of the server who are already using the POAP bot, and we did use it for one of the earlier network upgrades community call. So the idea here was to add the degen bot, and this is just a way to increase the collaboration. I wanted to share with this group and see if there are any thoughts or concern before we go ahead and add this bot. Well, I was hoping for the member to join today, but it looks like it's very early for him here. So I'm keeping this option open, but if there is any concern, please reach out to me and let me know, or Ken, and I will try to look into that. And if there is no concern, we can go ahead and invite the bot. The team would be around to provide any support and setup of this, and hopefully this should not be any trouble to any of the existing channels or anything. Moving on, the next one is NFT for EIP authors. So we proposed it to create NFT for final EIPs. So unfortunately, I could not hear back from the Alchemy NFT team on this. So there is no progress on building and deploying the NFT as such. However, we have been approached by another team. It's led by one of the consensus members. They are working on NFT and DAO space, and they are looking for some collaboration with cat herders. I am yet to receive more documents on that. I'll be updating if we get to have any progress on that side. I'm open for any of the groups to work on that. Currently, Alita and William are there who showed interest to work on any of these NFT projects that we are planning from the Cat Herders side. If anyone else is interested, do let me know. And if anyone think that they can help deploying and like designing and deploying the NFT on their own and help out with this particular task that we are planning for, please feel free to reach us. That's on the third item, the new ideas and brainstorming. Before we jump into the next one, events and hackathon, I see William Schwab has joined. William, if you would like to talk about the Cat Blazers or the new initiatives, anything, I mean, we can come back after going to the events and hackathon, but if you would like to go ahead before that.
I could do that right now, sure. Primary focus over the last couple of weeks has still been onboarding. There are a number of people, I don't have the count off the top of my head right now, who I've been speaking with, either through Ethernaut DAO, through Gitcoin kernel, independently. And I feel like there might have been something else that was funneling to me a little bit, though I'm not recalling what right now. There are also a couple of initiatives that I have been working on. So Pooja and I have been working on trying to create a spin-off in the Peep and Eep series. So we're putting in some work on that. We mentioned, I think, briefly in the last call, and are hoping we'll be able to start working on that probably in early November. There's also another EIP ERC involvement initiative that we've been putting in some initial work on, which I could give more details on a bit later, or maybe put in an article. And that has been my personal focus over the last couple of weeks.
Thank you. So that was on the updates on the Cat Blazers and William's side. William have been helping out some of the new people like whom we have recently met through the community calls, helping out them with the onboarding on EIP editors interns program as well. So if anyone is listening out and is interested to be a future EAP editor or want to contribute on EAP editing side, please reach out to William or me. We're happy to engage you here. Moving on to events and hackathon. Last week, Ken and Jamil from ETH Builders NYC and Blockchain New York, we had this community call, the Ethereum Cat Herders community call, where we went through the EIPs, the process, and what's coming up with Ethereum network upgrade. It was a great meetup. Thank you, Ken, for organizing all that. It has good resources on the EIP process side, and people who are interested to contribute as an author or just as a developer. We discussed about ERC processes. So it's the recording of the meeting is added there. I just wanted to share that if people are willing to have this kind of talk, please feel free to reach us. And thank you very much, Ken, for helping organize these meetups.
You're most welcome.
Appreciate it. About the Hack CBS 4.0, we were hoping to be official community partner, but unfortunately we couldn't be. The event was totally sponsored by Polkadot, and because of the contract, they could not partner with any other blockchain, meaning the Ethereum Cat Herders could not be the partner for that. Nonetheless, we hope to look for a future collaboration, maybe next year. On the ECH, sorry.
I was saying that'll be great.
Yeah, I hope so. We try to partner with different hackathons and events to keep talking about Ethereum and let people get on board and help them get away in the Ethereum community. Moving on to the ECH funding.
One quick question I have on that. Does anyone have any information on further out events? Like, is there going to be a DevCon? When's the next, any talk about the next DevCon? Is there going to be ETH Berlin or anything like that next year? Anyone know any information about further out stuff?
No, I haven't heard anything just yet on that.
Okay, thanks for the update.
Yeah, I heard the ETH LessCon, that was like very close to DevCon. But yes, there is no official information on DevCon so far.
Cool, thanks for the update on that.
No problem. On ECH funding, currently CLR.fund round 8 is live. It's live for another less than 12 hours. We are participating in that. So if anyone is interested to support cat herders, you can donate, and the donation will be complemented with the quadratic funding. They have this special matching formula for every donation that is received by any project over there. So hurry up. If you're interested to support cat herders, CLR.fund is running their round 8. On the second part, the Moloch DAO, we have been asked to submit the new funding request for Moloch DAO that they are planning to consider for the next round of Moloch grant that is expected in the month of November. We are yet to submit the proposal. I hope to like finish up the formalities real soon, and will update in the next meeting.
Could we get some information on how to vote for those things and some links and stuff like that? Would that be good to include in the notes? I would like to have that information. And can you maybe post a link to where to go to vote for those cat herder funding issues?
So if
or
I
learn more information of how we might get more involved with that kind of stuff.
So if I understand correctly, Moloch has their own DAO, and the members of the DAO are only people who can vote for any proposal that is proposed there.
Right.
So the first thing would be to get a membership of Moloch.
Yeah, and then get some of their currency, right?
Yeah. No, actually, no currency. They have like the shares. There's the concept of shares. With shares, they can support any project.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to study that. But was that the first one you mentioned that we could vote on, or was that the only one?
No, Moloch is the only one in which we can, like anyone, any member of Moloch can vote on. CLR fund is very similar to Gitcoin funding. It's just that we are trying to make use of whatever resources available to get funding for cat herders.
So is it Moloch that's doing the quadratic voting and stuff like that?
No, CLR fund is doing quadratic voting, and Moloch has their own DAO. They go by DAO decision.
Okay.
I'd be happy to send you some resources on that. Maybe.
Yeah, I'd like to get those included in the notes too. So yeah, thanks.
Sure. All right, any questions so far? On the next item, discuss and close ECH GitHub issues. I see there are a couple of open issues. The one that has been recently posted about some help that we are looking for updating the ETH1.x and pmarket folders to archive. We have opened a bounty of 100 DAI for that. So anyone who is interested to work on this particular task, please respond to the issue and let us know if you have any question, and I'm happy to help on that. Other than that, there are a couple of more. I see number 238 web page to curate resources on the merge. I don't know. Someone from the cat herders. Yeah, George.
Yeah, Pooja, I actually just sent you a message on Discord about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll look into that. No problem. That's it. And the third one is Rinkaby faucet. So I see the number is 241. I see there is this proposal. Maybe they are planning to manage the Rinkaby faucet. And I don't know if people have any question, comment, or they know who is managing the feeling that I get from there is that there are projects who are planning to use a Rinkaby test ether, but they are unfortunately not getting it. Maybe any help in this direction? I don't know anyone from the core dev team, so maybe Tim, if you are aware of like how Rinkaby faucet is managed, I don't know by any chance.
So the Rinkaby facet is managed by Peter basically, and I think he shared on Twitter like he doesn't want to give like tons of Rinkaby ETH. Yeah, so I think if people want like a large amount of Rinkaby ETH, they should use another testnet basically.
But right, so I'm not sure if like there is a demand of large amount of Rinkaby,
Okay.
but yeah, my understanding was like management was a concern, like if it is being managed. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, I think the Geth team basically manages it.
All right. Maybe we can point them towards the Geth team, and if they can.
Yeah. Yeah, the Geth Discord is probably the right place for that.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. And other than that, I think we are good on the issue part. On the funding section, I see one open issue. We'll try to close it by the end of this week. And that's all. Looking into the meeting notes from the last meeting. 69.1, add better resources for the merge in the ESH website. George is working on that. We'll come back on it later. 69.2, Williams podcast initiative. We did announce yesterday as well, and hopefully we'll start recording it soon. 69.3, continue NFT for EIP final status author. I'm looking for some more help and support there. Unfortunately, we could not continue with the team we started with, but if there is someone who knows NFT well and is willing to help us design, deploy it for cat herders, please reach us. And I think that concludes all of the items listed here. Anyone wants to bring up anything to share or discuss today? Well, in that case, thank you so much for joining. I hope to see you all in 2 weeks on November 9th. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pooja.